Kong owned the 80s, Japan owned the 90s, and then both fell apart. Now, Korea owns the world's attention. K-pop, K-drama, K-beauty, K-food. Korea became the cultural capital of Asia almost by accident. But here's the thing nobody's saying out loud. Korea is making the exact same mistakes that destroyed Hong Kong and Japan, and Thailand and Vietnam are watching and taking notes. In the 1980s, Hong Kong was the coolest place in Asia. Jackie Chan, John Woo, Wong Kar-wai, Kpop. Hong Kong cinema was genuinely global. Bruce Lee made the world look at Asia differently. Hong Kong action films were playing in theaters from Lagos to Los Angeles. Hong Kong had everything: financial freedom, creative freedom, the energy of a city that was simultaneously Chinese and Western. A place where East and West collided and produced something nobody had seen before. And then 1997, hand over to China. Slowly at first, then all at once, the creative freedom that made Hong Kong special started disappearing. Censorship, political pressure, the best filmmakers left, the best writers left, the energy left. Hong Kong cinema still exists, but nobody outside Hong Kong is watching it the way they used to. You cannot make culture worth exporting under a government that controls what the culture is allowed to say. Japan's cultural moment came in the 90s and the early 2000s. Anime, manga, or Juku fashion. Japan was exporting culture the way America exports culture. Everywhere to everyone, whether you asked for it or not. Dragon Ball, Studio Ghibli, Final Fantasy, Pokemon. These weren't just products. They were entire aesthetic universes that rewired the imaginations of a generation worldwide. And then Japan's economy collapsed. The lost decade became the lost 3 decades. The population started aging and shrinking. The social pressure that had driven Japanese creativity, the same pressure that drove men into PC bangs and body pillow relationships, started crushing the culture inward. Japan still produces brilliant culture, but it produces it for Japan. The global ambition faded with the economic confidence. A culture that stops believing in its own future stops projecting that future outward. Korea won the cultural moment for reasons that are specific and replicable and also fragile. Korea had creative freedom, not complete freedom. Korean entertainment has its own pressures and conformities, but compared to China's censorship and Japan's inward turn, Korea was relatively open. Korea had hunger. The economic miracle generation built the infrastructure. Their children had resources but also ambition. The combination produced BTS, Parasite, Squid Game, work that was simultaneously Korean and universal. Korea invested in its culture deliberately. The Korean wave Hallyu wasn't entirely organic. The government funded it. Korean broadcasters pushed it. The infrastructure was built intentionally. In Korea's position, small country surrounded by giants, always needing soft power because it lacks hard power, made cultural export a national survival strategy. The world didn't discover Korea. Korea introduced itself loudly, repeatedly, until the world paid attention. But here's what worries me. Korea is starting to look like Japan in 1995. The cultural output is still brilliant, but the society producing it is aging, shrinking, and increasingly conservative. The birth rate is very low. The housing market is insane. Young people are opting out. The same pressure that drove Japan inward are building in Korea, and culturally, Korea's entertainment industry is showing signs of the same formula dependency that killed Hong Kong and Japan. Too many idol groups are following the same template, too many dramas with the same plot. The innovation that made Hallyu special being replaced by the industrial production of Hallyu-shaped content. Korea's creative moment came from hunger and freedom. If it becomes fat and cautious, the moment passes, and the neighbors are watching. Thailand and Vietnam are where Korea was 30 years ago. Young populations, hunger, creative energy that hasn't been fully channeled yet. Governments that are starting to understand soft power. Regional audiences that are ready for something new. Thai drama, Thai BL has already built a passionate international fan base. Vietnamese music is finding regional audiences. Indonesian films are getting Netflix deals. None of them are Korea yet. But Korea wasn't Korea yet in 1990 either. The window Korea has is not permanent. Cultural dominance requires constant reinvention. The moment you start protecting what you have instead of creating what's next, someone hungrier takes your place. Hong Kong stopped creating. Japan stopped projecting. Korea needs to keep doing both, or in 10 years we'll be talking about how Thailand owed the 2030s. And honestly, that hits a little close to home, doesn't it?